Show, part of the Elfz Network. We are a bunch of wild and crazy Cleveland Browns fans who bring you all the latest in Browns news. Tune in now. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Fanatical Elfz Show, part of the Fanatical Elfz Network and Fans First. I'm John Suchan. That is Steve Gill over there. Good evening, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing fine. It's 61 degrees here in Nashville. Weird.
Yes.
Going to get cold, very
Yes.
cold, over the weekend and into early next week. But hey, you know, that's the weather in the South. And I still have my neighbor's tree in my backyard.
Oh, man. Well, it was so nice the last few days here in Ohio, where I live, up here in the Columbus area. It's just been so nice. Now, today it's finally gotten colder, but we had a boatload of rain, thunderstorms last night. So kind of washed away a lot of the
got
salt.
A little rain, little wind, a little rain. Doesn't bother me.
Well, it was nice for a brief warm up. It's going to get cold again, like you said, and we're deal with that a little bit more. But hey, we're finishing up February, and we're closing in on March. The Browns
next week is the Combine.
Yeah. What do you think
the
about
underwear
all that?
Olympics?
I know. We're finishing up
where
the
all
Olympics.
The deals that are not supposed to happen.
I know. I bet you're super excited. Tell us a little bit about what you're looking forward to there with the Combine, because
I just
Browns got a lot of questions.
I just want to hear who they talk to.
Yeah.
That's one of the most important things about this. I don't really care about the running around part. Sure, it'd be nice to have fast guys who can jump real high, but those aren't game-like conditions. I just want to know who the Browns have talked to. They've already talked to a running back and a center, which I saw online. So that's nice. So yeah, that's the only thing I'm interested in, and interested in hearing rumors about, because everybody knows they've got to rebuild the offense, and they start doing that with trades and free agency. It's great to talk about the draft, but free agency starts first, and that's how Andrew Berry has always dealt with the roster on this team. It's surprising that in his 7th year that a lot of people still don't get it. He likes to go into the draft to have the freedom to do what he wants to. Like, I don't know, trade the second pick, get Mason Graham, a first-round pick, and another second-round pick that turns into Quinson Junkins and Mason Graham. Things like that. Personally, I kind of like that. It worked out.
It really did. Fans here in Cleveland, Browns fans, we are devout followers of the draft.
I know. I was too, until Andrew Berry came along, and then I changed my thinking. The start of free agency is Christmas, not the draft.
Yeah.
But they've got some cleaning up to do. They pushed back Joe Bitonio. He initially agreed. Don't know if he's coming back or not. It would be nice to get 20% of your offensive line back. He's 34, 13th season, and he still was the best offensive lineman they had last year. Teller and Njoku, shocked. They're gone. Ooh, I think I said that way back in August that they probably wouldn't be back. Why they have to put out statements saying, well, I'm not coming back? Well, no kidding. We all knew that. And they will be your post-June 1st cuts to reduce their salary cap dead money.
Yeah.
Split it over 26 and 2027. So, I guess Andrew Berry will redo a lot of contracts and create a lot of room. That's what he's good at.
So, like, right now, when you just look at like spot track or whatever, it shows that
go to over the cap.
Yeah, they're
not
over the
spot track. Over the cap is
over the cap.
Better.
Well, okay. So when I was looking at the other one, it was saying like we're $19 million in the hole, but like you're suggesting with the upcoming restructures of a variety of players
That was
contracts.
probably before the news of Batonio pushing back his void date, because over the cap
Right.
has him at 2.5 under the cap. So that
Oh, okay.
see, that's why I don't go to spot tag.
Okay. Right now, do you feel like, I mean, you don't know, but I mean, I don't think Batonio is going to come back. But maybe he does. You feel the other way, or?
Well, his last game, he rented out the largest suite for his family to see him play. That's one side of it. Him agreeing to push back the void date without announcing his retirement. So I don't know. I'm 50
Well,
50.
that's a good point. Yeah.
I'm 50-50.
So, I mean, the focus the last few days, you've just been talking about with the offensive line, and there's reports now, and we're jumping into this draft. But like, I did an article for Dog Pound Daily this past week where I talked about Walker Little, it was suggested in an article by a guy at ESPN. So I wrote about it.
Jaguars.
Yeah, that the Browns and the Jaguars could trade draft picks like a fifth and a sixth and then also the Browns could get this Walker Little he's had a respectable start to his career. He's been in the
He
league
got
5 or 6
caught up in
years.
that change of offense. It really wasn't his style. But do you really think the GM of the Jacksonville Jaguars is going to take a call from Andrew Berry? I mean, he's fleeced him twice.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it was more or less, here's what other people are saying. We talked about it. That's what we do. We want those clicks, right? So, so many people want clicks for just a variety of reasons. There's so many crazy ideas out there. Now, one idea that I don't agree with you on, but it did come up, and I talked about it on my show, and you talked about it earlier in your show, is this Kyler Murray, veteran who's there. He's in the middle of this really expensive contract himself with the Cardinals, but some people have discussed that being a possibility. Where does that come from, and why do you think that is? And you kind of thought that might look okay. Uh, Is that
Well,
correct? You
I am
mentioned it the
not.
other day.
I am not thrilled with him.
Yeah.
But there are ways they can get him. I mean, personally, look, the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns in 2026 is not on the team right now. And this draft for quarterbacks is worse than last year. It's horrendous. I mean, if you take somebody like Tyler Simpson before day 3, you got a problem. So, and Newsmeyer, I don't know why all this Newsmeyer thing. He's thinner and taller than Dylan Gabriel, but he has smaller hands. So
He's a kid from LSU.
You're going to draft him in the second round. Yeah, sure. Right. No. So as the veteran quarterback, who you got? They're not going to get a bridge quarterback. They are going to go out and get a starter. Kyler Murray does have some intriguing features. I don't like the fact that he's shorter than Dylan Gabriel, but you don't hear people promoting him saying that, even though they complained about Dylan Gabriel being short. So I'm sure things. Who knows? He may get cut. We don't know that.
Yeah, they've mentioned that.
I am thinking along the lines of Geno Smith. Yes, I know he's
Geno, sure,
but the previous 3 years in Seattle, he was very, very good.
He was.
So that's who I'm thinking they might get. And they're not going to trade for CJ Stroud. I mean,
okay, now I have a point of contention to come back to you, though, because you've mentioned this twice. I listened to your podcast the other day, and you said that the starter for next year is not on this roster.
Not
now,
right
does
now.
that mean, let me ask you this. What you're saying there is that Shedeur Sanders, who started the last 7 games of the season, what you're saying is he's not the starter, but you're saying he would still be part of the team. You're not saying.
Who knows?
Okay.
I don't know that. You're going into right now, the quarterback room looks worse than last year, and all they had was Kenny Pickett and a Deshaun Watson who was on his second Achilles tear. So you got two rookies, and you've got again Deshaun Watson, who we've all said will
Yeah,
never see the
he
field
will
again.
not play again. I know I talked
Uh,
about it because people are
two
still bringing it up.
Achilles tear, three ACLs, reconstructive shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
The 2020 Deshaun Watson is a long gone memory,
Oh,
and it's
absolutely.
never going to resurface again. So you can't really say right now that the starting quarterback is on the Cleveland Browns because
Do
he's
you
not.
think the
We don't
rumors?
we don't know.
No, rumors like Dylan Gabriel going to Atlanta because that's where Stefanski ended up.
That's
So you
just
think
people putting
just
two to
pushing?
two together and hoping and praying it comes out to
Hmm.
85.
Yeah, yeah. Were you surprised going back into the Browns and internally with the coaching with Munkin and hiring the three different people that he did?
On
Are
defense,
you
I love it.
on offense, defense? Yeah, the special teams
I
guy.
love it.
Yeah, Rudenberg is going to be the new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
keeping the important people, Bandon, Tarver. He's keeping them in house, and he's giving them
he
promotion,
did.
and he's giving them the chance, if they do an excellent job, to hit the coaching, the coordinator cycle again
Yeah,
next year.
the
Because Bando was interviewed a couple
he
times, and
was. Yeah,
Tarver, the Raiders wanted to hire Tarver, but he was still under contract for the Browns.
and they
And it's
both
also
are staying.
making
Yeah.
Jim Schwartz look like the childish person that he was.
Well, it is a good observation. I mean, I know. I mean, he was up for a job. I mean, that it's difficult to swallow your pride and come back. And I'm sure he was disappointed. He's in the latter stages of his career, and he really probably wanted the job. So
These guys will do the same scheme,
Munkin, I mean,
and they know the team.
the guy. Well, Rudenberg. Everything
Ruttenberg.
that I've read on him and listened to some of the different players in Atlanta talk about him recently, they've all said really good things about him and how he works with the players. So that's something to be
When the
encouraged.
Browns hired him, um, Falcons Twitter went ballistic,
Really?
losing him. So that shows you. And plus, the big defensive coach in this cycle, Robert Saleh, he spent 3 years under him with the Jets.
Yes. Yeah.
So he took a guy named Quincy Williams, who was a waiver wire pickup, and turned him into an All Pro.
Hmm.
So I'm good with that.
Yeah.
He's a great teacher. He is enthusiastic, and my guy told me that he has controlled chaos. Fantastic.
Controlled chaos.
He used disguised looks. He played the same cover one that the Browns did, with a high safety, but he disguised it. He made the offense not know what's coming. I
Hmm.
like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have a long ways off. I was reciting on my Johnny Cleveland show the other day, or stirring the pot when one of the shows, I said how we're still like 215 days out from the beginning of next season. So it's still a long ways off. And like we've got the combine coming up. Let's talk about that and the free agency briefly. After this commercial break, we'll be right back. Hey, thanks for coming back to the Fanatical Elves Network. That's Steve Gill. I'm John Suchan. It's a Friday night. Yeah, we usually come on Thursdays, so we'll be back to the Thursdays, but we special time tonight for our show. So the Browns and the rest of the NFL are
Because we're
going.
special.
We are special. And a shout out to Special Coffee, Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. They shake the hand of the farmer. Check out our X page. I know I've been saying all week, our X, if you're watching us on the X, thank you. They've been having a glitch between our StreamYard and the X. Not our issue, it's the company's issue. They're trying to get it fixed, but it's causing a little bit of technical delays and such. But anywho, so we've got the combine coming up and it's in Indianapolis like it usually is. I'm down here in Columbus. It's always interesting listening to everybody here on local sports radio. And tonight I was literally just listening to them and they were saying how there will be, 4 or 5 of these Buckeyes probably, they might be invited to the combine, but they're not, they'll probably pass that up and have like personal workouts. It's, when you live here in Columbus, Ohio State football is everything to everybody. So,
No, really.
we're they're a bit snooty to begin with, so it just adds to that. But I'm excited to see the combine. It's always a neat time to see who some of these players are that maybe we haven't seen a lot, and then have all these projections about when they're going to get drafted. What are you looking forward to at the combine? Just everything about it?
Well, like I said before, I want to know who they talk to, any rumors of any deals, and I kind of like to know the official weights and heights and sizes, not hand sizes. I don't really care about that.
No,
They're
penny
not going to
picking.
draft. They're not drafting a quarterback in the first 2 days anyway. So I want to know the tackles and the guards. I want to know this kid from Georgia, really Freeling, isn't starting to intrigue me a little bit.
Mm,
So yeah, he could be a nice pickup at 24 if
mm.
they do it. But I'm kind of
What's the
interested
kid's
to
last name?
really Freeling. I'd like to
Freeling. Okay.
know how tall he is. I'm interested. I just the offensive linemen and the wide receivers. Right now, I think there's only two qualified wide receivers to go in the first round.
Mm.
Lemon out of USC and Tate
Yeah.
out of Ohio State. I've heard a lot of people talking about what's his name, Tyson uh, Joyner, I think is his last name. Uh, he's had way too many injuries in college. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he had an MCL, ACL, PCL, and then he had two hammies, and then he had a broken collarbone. And everybody complains about Tillman always being hurt. And you want to draft this guy in the first round? No, thank you. Travis Hunter proved last year how many games he missed injured, and what happens? He gets hurt and he ends up on season-ending IR. It, so I just want to see how fast some of these wide receivers are, how big they are, because college
Mm-hmm.
media guides always overemphasize height and weight on players.
Carnell Tate, who's from Ohio State.
Yeah,
Again, I'm in Columbus, and they were actually talking about him this morning and about where these guys get drafted and the projections that people are putting out on mock drafts. But the overwhelming number of people here locally have said no way should Carnell Tate be going number 6. Like if the Browns have an option to take Carnell Tate at 6, there's no way the Browns should be doing that because Carnell Tate's not. There's other players that the Browns should be. I know the Browns need a wide receiver, but his projections, at least for right now, he's not the 6th pick in the draft. Do you agree with that? Do you think he should go a
I've
little
seen
bit?
him going to the Giants at 5.
Really? Okay.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think he's worth a
Well,
top
what
10
about?
pick.
Well, and I know we have both talked about this, and I know we probably disagree a little bit, but the Caleb Downs. I mean, Caleb Downs, from a lot of people, suggested he's the best player on the draft board
I don't
overall. I
care.
mean,
I
okay,
don't care. You don't take a safety. I mean, he plays the same position as Grant Delpit.
yeah, but
So
you
what are you
can't
going to
see.
do?
Can you
Are
not
you
see
going to
the two of
cut
them?
Grant Delpit so you
No,
can
but can't you see
have
the
a
two
rookie
working
come in?
together?
No, I
I
can't
mean,
see them working together.
from what I've read about it, that with Caleb Downs, that you could put him,
You
you can
could pick
mix
up
and
a
match him.
safety in the second round, and he plays for Oregon. I can't think of his
Yeah,
name right now.
I know.
I think
Yeah,
it's yeah.
there's other safeties, sure,
Oh yeah, but no, I
but
don't think
can't you
you take
see
a safety.
that like Caleb Downs being like a
They
plug and play
have
guy?
to fix the offense. How
Well,
many points
true.
did they score last year per
16.
game?
Yeah,
16 points per
yeah.
game, and we're going to take a safety.
Well,
I don't see
if
it.
he's the you don't so the idea that some people think that he's the best athlete, best
I don't
prospect.
care.
Okay,
I don't care. I think he's going to be off the board anyway. I mean,
ahead.
you're going to have
Okay,
one quarterback gone.
right,
Number one, there aren't any other quarterbacks in this draft.
correct.
Somebody's going to overdraft one in the second round,
Like
and
Anthony
they're
Richardson.
Anthony Richardson. I
Richardson.
keep telling you, should have never been a first round draft pick, because
Well,
my
they talked
rule
about
is
that.
if
Yes.
you lose your last game to my alma mater Vanderbilt, you should never be a first round draft pick. He is the
Interesting,
only
Steve.
player that
Yeah,
accomplished that and was drafted in the first round. So
they
how's he
talked about
looking?
him. They talked about him and other criteria that coaches like Bill Parcells. They like again. I was listening to local radio this morning. And in that conversation, they brought up Anthony Richardson's because Richardson only started like a handful of games in college. And
Tyler
that,
Simpson.
yeah, it should never, like, the rules that, like, and his throwing percentage was like 50%.
Yeah,
So the fact that the Colts took him that high, shocked the NFL at that time, and he's not worked out. I don't think he's a very good quarterback, but
I don't
you
think
know,
he's a very good quarterback either. And he's a bad quarterback with a bad back. Oh, yeah, let's sign that guy. Let's trade for that guy.
By the way, just not to change the subject too much, we'll come back to the Browns. But did you see the story this past couple days with the Chicago Bears talking to Indiana about moving their stadium down there to Hammond, Indiana? Or like to
Yeah.
build. Yeah. You have any? I mean, I know we're not Bears fans, but does that surprise you a little bit?
Well, if the city government's got the land and going to give you all the tax breaks, you
Where
go
have you
there.
been? Is it? It's got to be just on the other side of like the city limits and down there at where Illinois and Indiana come together. Hammond. I guess it's got to be between Hammond and Gary, Indiana,
Yeah,
over there.
it's close.
Okay.
It's still close to Chicago, but
Hmm.
that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Billionaires want their stadiums, but they don't want to pay for them.
Did you see the new renditions of the stadium they've been putting out, or more
You're
renditions?
going
It
to see a
looks
lot more of them too.
they look fantastic.
Yeah.
Now I
Nope.
have a cousin that will refuse. He's refusing. He and I talked
You
this
told
week,
me
and
that last week.
did I tell you that last week? Okay, it was the same damn story. I'm
he'll
repeating my stories, folks. I'm getting old,
he'll change his mind.
right?
So
I would.
right now, what's bothering me about social media is all this stupid stuff that is going on. Like CJ Stroud, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dallas trading up to get the 6th pick and giving the Browns the 12th. That's not going to happen. AJ Brown, no. Andrew
No,
Berry's not going to touch him with a 10-foot pole. Believe me, I don't
that's
care
gotten a
how
lot
cheap
of,
he
yeah.
is. How cheap he is, especially when somebody said, well, they can trade the 24th pick. No, that's not going to happen. Andrew Berry does have a good eye for wide receivers, and he proved that. All three of them had career years. Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore was here 2 years, had his
So who do we
best
trade
seasons
for then?
ever. And then Jerry Jeudy had his all-pro year where he broke Ozzie Newsome's record. So
So who's out there that maybe would be tradable? As a wide
that's
receiver.
why I'm thinking they're going to take, if Carnell Tate's there at 6, they should take it. Because
Okay.
right now the list isn't the greatest in the world. You are better at signing a offensive lineman or trading for an offensive lineman than you are getting a good wide receiver.
So the two wide receivers, Lennon and Tate, those are the two guys.
Those who I think deserve to be in the first round. Now, there'll be some other guys that'll seep in before the draft, but right now, that those two I think have the best chance of being drafted in the first round. I wouldn't mind Lemon either. I mean, he is a phenomenal wide receiver.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
If Tate is gone, at 6, I wouldn't mind that if you could get another offensive lineman. But it all starts in free agency.
Well, that's really what we're going to be looking
where it all starts.
And that starts like the second week in March.
That is the legal tampering period is the 9th through the 11th of March. Then the league year starts 4:00 Eastern on the 11th.
Okay. So yeah, like you said,
when all the deals will be officially announced, even though they'll leak out before that.
Well, we'll know a lot more when that starts happening. And if the Browns do pick up an offensive lineman or two, there's talk about the Browns taking 2 offensive linemen in the draft. But like you've been talking about this evening,
that depends if they really swing a deal for a wide receiver before the draft. See, Andrew Berry does not like to be pigeonholed in the draft. He likes the freedom to make deals, move if he needs to.
I don't like being pigeonholed either.
Yeah, I know. And it only happened once, his very first draft, and Bill Callahan said, please draft Jedrick Wills, even though Bill Callahan will never say that he did say that, but he did. And that's what happened. And ever since then, he just doesn't like to have to go with positional value. He did it last year. Everybody, like I said before, everybody whined and cried when he drafted Carson Schwarzenegger with the first pick in
Right.
the second round. And then 3 picks later, he took Quinshon Judkins in an extremely deep running back draft. So, and they kind of worked out pretty well.
Absolutely. I'm again, I'm excited about what the Browns have been doing. I think a lot of Browns fans are. Unfortunately, you get on social media, you read all the clickbait, everything else that's out there. It's hard to continually, not get thrown, like, feel the negativity. So hopefully the Browns can do some good things. Like you said already, I think Andrew Barry has got a good eye for a lot of
He's
things.
he if you give him sorry about that.
That's okay.
That's my office phone, which shouldn't be ringing
Nice.
at my wife will get it. Given a full room of draft picks,
Yeah.
he does pretty well, especially when he has a first and a second round pick.
Well, final thoughts, Steve, tonight before we say goodbye to everybody.
Just pay attention to in the combine. Pay attention to your wide receivers' times and their sizes, how much they weigh, what's their official height, and the same goes with tackles and guards. That that's very important to me at this stage because, like I said, he's got to rebuild the offense and the tight ends. I've already said that I would like to.
Yeah, the tight end. Yep.
Max Clare on this team. I think he improved his blocking. He put more weight on when he went to Ohio State from Purdue, and he improved his blocking tremendously.
Yeah.
He would be a perfect complement
to
that. Harold Fannin. He would be.
Where's he? He's at Purdue or Ohio State right now?
He played for Ohio State last year,
Yeah,
transferred
he came
from
over.
Purdue. Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Everybody, I appreciate everybody tuning in here to the Fanatical Elves Network. Really, really look forward to following up with everybody next week. The combine starts. Steve will be having his Dog Pound South show coming up, so stay tuned for that
Sunday.
later on Sunday. That's right.
Sunday
we got
morning.
Rod Bloom with his Browns Blitz on Thursdays, and you've got my Johnny Cleveland show along with a few other shows scattered in there. So tune in next time. Again, thanks again. Go Browns. See you, Steve.
Go Browns.